watch and sort of train and focus a lot on mindset and follow a formula that's been proven to work, not once, but multiple times across multiple people worldwide. Like if you go on YouTube and you watch someone's formula, like strategy, did it only work for them or has it worked for like 50 other people worldwide? So follow a strategy that has worked with many different people worldwide, not just one.
So just to give you a little bit of information, basically the hustle is daily newsletter is their main product. That's paywall. That's for like VC investors and entrepreneurs. So yeah, basically just to get a little bit of your story about dropshipping and your advice for other people that are interested in maybe doing it. What made you decide to start dropshipping?
I think I was 18 at the time, and prior to dropshipping, the thing I was doing beforehand was I was buying and selling clothing. And then the catalyst for that was I was like in year 10 and all my friends had all these cool Nike Windrunner jackets, Air Force shoes, had all this stuff, and I couldn't afford it. I didn't have a job at that time. I think it was actually before I was 14. So it was like around like 13, 14 before I got my first job at McDonald's. And prior to that, I was making money sort of buying and selling things in games. Like I was playing Counter-Strike Go, MapleStory, and I learned how to sort of buy and sell items in games. So I was like, can I do that in real life? And then I was like, oh, and I gave it a try in real life, bought and sold clothes. Eventually I was like buying and selling Louis Vuitton, Supreme, Palace, sort of all these branded gear. And then I was like, wow, like this is pretty easy now after doing that for 1 or 2 years. I wanted something more challenging. So I was like on YouTube, how to make $100 a day under 18, how to make money online as a teenager, how to make money online. And dropshipping came up again and again and again. And they're like, dropshipping is a business model where you don't have to hold any inventory. You just have a store, you sell items when people give you money, then you go ahead and use that money to go ahead and ship the item to the customer. And it just felt like this easy thing. So I was like, okay, I'll try that. Got into it and it was much, much harder than I expected. Like the buying and selling virtual items online, the buying things in bulk, selling on eBay Australia, all those things took like 1 or 2 months to crack. But drop shipping, like 3, 4 months in, I was losing $50 every day and I was nowhere near cracking it. Like stuck through it, and it was probably the hardest thing I've ever did. But after 6 months, I cracked it. And I think I made a promise to myself. I was like, if I can hit $500 a day, I'm going to take a gap year. And literally a week before second year of university, I hit that goal and I took a gap year. And that gap year turned into 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And I guess I haven't looked back since.
Wow, amazing. So at the beginning when you started, how much kind of research did you do before you got going?
Ooh, so I think I watched probably like 3 or 4 YouTube videos. And since it was like a model where it's like low upfront costs, there's no upfront anything. It was like you create a Shopify free trial. After 3 videos, I just jumped straight into it, blind sort of.
And how did you decide what to sell?
I was sort of just going off my gut feeling. Like the first items I sold were these sort of sports equipment, these leggings, these compression tops that had Marvel related superhero stuff on it. So it was like I was using my buying clothing sort of knowledge and sort of applying that to drop shipping. And it sort of ish worked, sort of ish didn't. But once I got started, all I did was just watch drop shipping related YouTube videos all day long and learn what other people were selling, and then sort of trying to use those techniques for myself.
And what would be your advice to someone who's trying to decide what to sell?
My advice is probably there's this trick where you can go on Facebook newsfeed, scroll through your feed, and every time you see an ad that's a sort of e-commerce related item, click on it. And when you click on it, Facebook starts giving you more similar related items, more e-com related items. So you basically want to fill your whole newsfeed with just drop shipping sort of e-commerce ads and find the ads that are sort of relatively new. They're working because it's being shown to you. And if they have like probably more than 5 comments within the last 24 hours, test that product.
Okay, interesting. So let's say you've decided something that you want to sell. How do you go about finding a supplier?
So it's pretty simple. When you're first starting out, you just go on AliExpress go on AliExpress.com and search up the item. Like if it's like um, this sort of pocket knife, go on AliExpress and search pocket knife, then narrow it down. So search metal pocket knife, pocket pocket keychain knife, and you'll get closer and closer. And eventually you find items that are similar. Click on the ones that are similar and then go to sort of the suggested items on the right. And you get closer and closer. Those are for really hard items to find, but usually you'll be able to find them straight away.
And how do you build a relationship with a supplier? Do you actually find that there's someone that you talk to back and forth and you are kind of like giving them feedback on the product? Or is it just like blind, someone on the other side of a screen that you don't interact with at all?
So what I do is I make sure that the supplier has had like thousands of orders and at least like 100 orders for the specific product I'm drop shipping, and their reviews is at least 95%. So those are the metrics I check. But over the long run, as you sort of get really good at drop shipping, I sort of work with agents from China where they're able to go ahead and source all these different products for me at a much cheaper cost than AliExpress, and they'll be able to do quality check on my behalf.
Okay, that's really interesting. Have you ever had any problems with suppliers or with quality issues, and how did you resolve those?
One issue I had was, I think there was a product where we probably sold maybe 30 units just to find out that the supplier wasn't shipping out the products. So I had all these 30 orders that were really, really behind. And our solutions, we had to just message all these customers, say, sorry, shipping stuffed up, we had issues with the supplier, but don't worry, we found a new supplier that can get you the product. And we're sort of spending a lot of time to make sure the quality is on par for what you're looking for. So that was the solution to that problem.
And how do you deal with customer complaints?
Oh, so I have like all these different templates for every scenario. But what we try to do is, one, you want to be empathetic to the customer, understand where they're coming from, admit when you're wrong outrightly, and then go ahead and tell the customer the solution. So let's say the customer's complaining about the long shipping times. Like, hey, we're super sorry for the long shipping times. As you see, we've given, there's a 50% sale off on this product. So we're getting a ton of orders and we want to make sure that you're getting the best quality possible. And that's sort of why it's taking a bit longer for the product to arrive. So please be patient with us and we'll make sure you receive the product very soon.
And is that you personally replying to complaints, or do you kind of outsource that? How do you do it?
So at first it was me doing every single email, but as I grew, I've hired a lot of team members from Philippines that do customer service for me.
Okay, that's really interesting. And what about marketing? How did you start off marketing and how do you do it now?
So I first started with Facebook ads, got little to no luck. Then I got into Instagram, where I would sort of message these Facebook pages, like, for example, men's hair, or like cool pets, like these cool pages where they would have millions of followers. And I'll pay them $200-300 and they'll show my product on their newsfeed and I'll get a bunch of sales. And that's sort of what sort of made it click for me. And then I went back to Facebook ads trying to figure it out. I was trying to figure it out, but I kept at it. And then I was able to figure out Facebook. And then that sort of was what was able to really take me from, doing with Instagram, I was able to do like, if I sort of stacked up sort of a lot of promotions in one day, maybe I could hit $2,000-3,000, like spending a week to stack it up. But with Facebook, I was able to do like $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 every day consistently. And that's sort of why I stuck with Facebook. And I'm still doing Facebook now, but I'm also testing TikTok. TikTok ads have been quite promising.
That's really interesting. And you said that at some point you kind of got it with Facebook. So what changed for you? What's the difference between kind of not getting it and getting it, do you think? Is it just research or practice or?
Yeah. So not getting it was when I was trying different strategies, like 5-6 different strategies of 5 different people that taught me. And I just didn't stick with one strategy. When I got it, I found a strategy that worked for me, or one strategy that I just felt like was a good strategy. I just stuck with that. that's sort of when I got it. And all of a sudden I was consistently finding winning products, every 30 product I tested.
Okay. And what do you think were some of the main things that changed between when you started and you were losing money and when you started making money? Is it mainly about marketing and the right product, or what was the shift?
I think having a consistent sort of system, something that I could sort of rinse and repeat, had the same Facebook marketing strategy, had the same product research strategy, and just doing it like playing as a numbers game and not trying a bunch of different things at once, not running around with no direction. That's probably the biggest thing that's changed, as well as being able to sort of outsource and sort of automate the whole business with a lot of virtual employees.
So just talking about automation, what actually happens when somebody goes online and clicks purchase on your shop? What actually happens to that order? I assume you're not physically like getting a notification and then typing an email to your supplier. So what kind of happens?
So first thing first is I have an order fulfillment customer, virtual employee, where once we get in the order, he or she would go ahead and go to AliExpress, talk to our supplier, ship the product out to that customer, upload the tracking number to the customer, and fulfill that order. So I have someone that just does order fulfillment. And then customer service, we have someone just for customer service where twice a day we go through our sort of website's inbox. And then we have someone that helps us launch ads every single day. So running the ads, using the same strategy. Then we have someone that does the product research, helps find the products that we test. And then we have someone for editing, someone who creates all the videos, all the creatives.
What is the worst piece of advice you've seen online for people who want to start dropshipping?
So this is something that a lot of people recommend. Beginners is creating a one product store. It's basically a store dedicated to one product that you want to sell. The reason why I think that's bad, because one is what if that one product doesn't work? Two, they recommend you to spend literally nearly $1,000 testing that one product, which is really risky. With $1,000, we can test 1,000 divided by like 25. That's like 4. We can test 40 products using a general store testing where's a one product. So you can only test one product. So I think that's sort of the worst advice that I see people give to beginners. Now, if you're more experienced, I think one product stores do work if you have more experience, but if you're a beginner, highly don't recommend that.
And what's the best piece of advice that you've received or seen?
The best piece of advice is mindset. Being able to have a really strong mindset, work on consistency, do affirmations, do things that sort of allow you to be consistent and have this strong mindset where you just don't give up. I think mindset's the most undervalued thing in dropshipping.
Some people talk about dropshipping like it's a kind of a get-rich-quick scheme where you'll just have passive income really quickly. Do you think that's accurate?
No, it's definitely not a get-rich-quick scheme. It takes a lot of work. It's really easy. People give up in the first 10, 20, 30 products. People don't have the grit to push through to 70 products. So it's definitely not a get-rich-quick scheme. It requires a lot of work. But once you got the hang of it, you sort of hit the checkpoint and it's sort of hard to go back. Once you hit the checkpoint and once you've cracked it, that's sort of the new bar.
Any specific software or tools that you use that you would recommend?
So we actually keep it simple. We just use Shopify, and then we might use Oberlo or DSs just to make order fulfillment much quicker. But other than that, nothing else.
Great. I think that's everything that I wanted to ask.
But yeah, thank you so much for your time today. Great questions.
Thanks for your time, and I don't know when it'll come out, but I'll let you know.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.